Part 3 begins. Since he can't use a brand, the cat reminded him to hurry before the event will end. The fight between Iron and Count Caspar went on until night. By now Iron had suffered heavy losses, with 4 executed, 7 seriously wounded, and several surrendered, leaving only 6 suitable to fight. Although Count Caspar's side was not as strong as Iron's side, they reckoned on their figures to suppress the other party and still had an aggregate of people. Left Wing has his on the roof watching the battle and allowing how brave Iron's knight is, but their chance is too little at this moment since they only have 6 colors left. While he was allowing, Horus called him and was irked because half of Paz's mercenaries surrendered. After half of the fight were paid to fight for you, we know we said we would vend our lives. Paz answered Horus cannot do anything but calm himself and asked for Argentine, but Paz doesn't know where he's and he just answered that Gray must feed his cat at this time. Count Caspar's platoon wins again and there are only 5 people left on Lady Iron's side. Taurus decided to fight against Count's colors, and when he was about to walk in the middle he heard a sound behind him. When he turned around he saw a gigantic gate carried by Argentine. People were shocked and does not have any idea what was going on. Frey continued to carry the gigantic gate and asked how numerous people were left on Count Caspar's side. Count Caspar and Lady Iron were both nonplussed, and Iron trust Gray this time. Hey uncle, what about Count Caspar's side? Argentine burrow. Taurus so icons informed him that Caspar has overnights left, so he can now go and fight. Gray was happy and now ready to go straight to the ring with his gigantic gate, and when he put the gate in front of the opponent it seems like it has a big explosion and the opponent flew down. Carry climb up to the top of the gigantic gate and stand straight while saying I am ready, let's start the match. The opponent was remained speechless and incontinently kneeled to surrender in front of Argentine for the coming match. Count's colors still surrendered and were hysterical that they might be beaten left, right, and center because of Argentine. All of Count Caspar's colors do not want to fight against him. Count Caspar intrude and said, how dare you demolish the gate of the Count's palace and use it as a armament? What a shame, I will not tolerate this ever. All the people also noticed that it was the gate of the Count's palace. Caspar is now trembling in anger and his subordinate informed him that his knights would rather give up their titles than go to fight, so he suggests changing the mode of completion to cavalry fight. Caspar agreed to it as this is the only chance they have to win the tournament. Gray is very bored at this time because no one wants to fight with him. Caspar called him and said that he wants to see Gray's skills in cavalry. Frey was puzzled and Caspar is interrupted by Iron, who points out that according to the tournament's regulations the winner gets to choose how the following match will be played. Caspar warned her that if she refused to participate in the horse battle his men would not fight and the competition would continue without them. Iron is now frightened as she couldn't do anything. Brave knight, are you willing to accept the request for a horse battle? Caspar asked, and Gray told him that he will accept the horse battle if Caspar will send out all of his knights at once to fight with him. After hearing from Gray, Iron was surprised. Caspar asked if Gray means that all of the rest of his men will fight together, and Gray confirmed it. If these guys stop coming out halfway through the fight he won't have people defeated. Horus shouted to warn him, but Caspar accepted the deal. At the moment Horus doesn't trust Gray and wanted to stop the match. Iron called Gray by his name and said, are you making such a request with full confidence? And Gray replied, exactly, I will bring your victory. Because of Gray's statement, Iron let him show Gray's bravery and trust him wholeheartedly. Gray jumped from the top of the gate into needles with the cat on the roof, went towards Gray, and he successfully rides to Tenitos. Caspar immediately ordered to get all of his knights on the stage, and his subordinate followed his order and told all the knights to prepare for the battle. Several knights with their horses are coming and getting in their formation in front of Gray, as there is just one opponent on the opposing side. The Count's warriors are certain that they will win the tournament. They started to attack Gray, but Tenitos used his head to stop them. Gray pulled a sword, but the adversary is unaware that he doesn't have the skill to use it, so he attacked Gray with all of his strength, and Gray just parried the blow, which makes the opponent to be annoyed. Gray trusts Tenitos to take care of all these troops with just one hoof. At this moment, horsemen are now pissed off, and Tenitos asked what they will do since swords don't work. Let's use the old method of lick, Gray stated, and use his magic, a colossal magic quadruple. Tenitos feels more strong because of Gray's magic. The troops are rushing towards the mall. Tenitos is running with unbelievable speed. Count's knight was executed one by one and no one can stop Gray. They now thought that Gray is very skillful at riding horses, so their plan is to stab Tenitos, but because of magic the sword can't hit Tenitos. While almost all of the opponents were knocked down, Gray, Tenitos, and the cat were happily fighting against them. The opponent was scared of Gray and they thought that he was not a human but a monster. Caspar was surprised to see his troops all knocked out, and he even thought that Gray's cheating. Horus was glad to see Gray successfully win the battle, and Iron gives back to Gray his sword. Gray reminded her that he already defeated people in the tournament as promised, so he should be granted the title of knight. Of course I will fulfill my promise and grant you the title of a knight with a seal. Iron declared in the spring of the holy calendar in the territory of the kingdom of Isaac at the southern end of the continent Celts, a great knight was born who was going to change the whole world in the future. Some people left the scene in anger because of this. Some people are cheering for him, and Gray himself has no idea about it but was Happy experiencing this kind of fulfillment, the next day Gray is throwing away gold coins and gems in the castle, and many people give thanks for his kindness. The cat asked what is he doing, and Gray answered, distributing treasure I found to the poor last night. Iron bestow upon Gray the title of the Knight of the Silver Moon. She hopes that Gray will walk alongside her in the future. I will fight for you to my death, Gray answered. Iron prepared a room for Gray, and the cat now believes that the Lich has actually become a knight. Upon realizing it, Gray was very happy and walked around the room because of his excitement. Afterward, he decided to read the book to learn something about being a knight. The cat was about to sleep, but Gray won't allow him as he still needs advice. Upon reading the book, it says that the knight always gives treasure to the poor, so Gray asked the cat where to find the treasure and who are the poor. The cat answered, compared to Count Caspar, everyone in Port Hamlet is poor for the treasure. This castle is full of it, so feel free to find it yourself. After that, the cat fell asleep. That's why this day Gray robbed Count Caspar's castle and give it all to the poor. On the other side, in the temporary office of Iron Abbey, Robert and Horace entered her room to ask if she really going to trust Gray. You must have witnessed his bravery, and I need his strength, Iron answered. Robert insisted that Gray's not trusted since they did not know his past and didn't even bother to take off his helmet at the pledging ceremony, but still Iron is very confident about Gray and told Robert to not talk about Gray in the future. In just a minute, one knight came to Iron's room and delivered the news that the Silver Moon Knight, which is Gray, has robbed Count Caspar's treasury and thrown it from the castle tower. After hearing the news, Iron, Horse, and Robert were shocked and disappointed by what Gray did. Iron never considered herself a competent lord. She was trained by her father and was told that if she fall easily, there was no way she can become the next Grand Duke of the better family. However, there was one quality that Iron hadn't noticed, and that is she's very good at putting on an act. While Iron is en route to Gray, Caspar was already in the castle tower, standing in front of Gray, reprimanding him for plundering the castle's treasure. Gray told Caspar that he was giving the wealth he found to the poor, as every knight does, but Caspar was very mad because it was his own treasure, and he called Gray a despicable thief. Since Gray is a naive Lich, he wasn't aware that this treasure belongs to an owner, and he even told Caspar that he doesn't know since there is no written name on it. Iron and his knights heard Caspar scolding Gray, so Robert told her that they better stop Gray before the issue gets too big. In addition to putting on a show, Iron has another trait that is essential to being a lord, that is an incredibly keen insight into an opportune moment. Caspar ordered Gray to call his master, but Iron was already behind him and said, "What a surprise. Uncle Caspar has requested to see me." Iron believes that Caspar is avoiding her because he didn't want to fulfill his vow. Gray immediately greeted his master as well as Iron to him. Iron goes near Caspar and whispers that if he refuses to fulfill his vow, she has the right to deprive him of his title. Immediately Caspar feels shocked and thought that Iron is the one who deliberately sent Gray to attack his treasure, but Iron told him that she didn't anything about it but is willing to compensate for the damage that Gray caused. After all, I am not like a certain person, I am very credible, Iron stated, which caused Caspar to be annoyed and threw the charter before leaving the tower. Gray asked Iron if he did something wrong, and Iron told him that he has done very well. Iron was grateful that Caspar had forgotten that she had no right to deprive him of his title before becoming Grand Duchess, and he was grateful for the pressure Gray put on Caspar. At this point, she also educates Gray that robbing other people of their
That's it for today. If you like this video, don't forget to like and subscribe. Thanks for watching.